Hello and welcome back for lesson 9 of this ultimate guide to Arduino automation. This video will be all about actuators, and you will learn how to control both the speed and direction as well as the precise location or position of the actuator using an Arduino. And we got a little treat coming up next week. We're going to apply some of the things we learned before, and you will learn how to build your very own 2-axis solar tracker. So look forward to that one as well. So let's get started. For today's lesson, of course, we'll be using our trusty Arduino. I've got a 12-volt battery here that will be used to power the actuators. I have a few of these smaller actuators, and for those I like to use this L298N motor controller. But for these bigger actuators, I like to use this BTS 7960, which as you compare the heat sinks on these, this one can handle a lot more power. For this first example, we'll be controlling the two smaller linear actuators with the L298N motor controller, and we'll be using the same 2-axis joystick that we used in previous videos. For this code, we're going to start off with two integers, actuator 1 speed and actuator 2 speed. We're going to set those to 0. And then we're going to set pins 5, 6, 9, and 10 on the Arduino. Those are our PWM channels. We're going to set those as outputs and initialize those to 0. The first thing we want to do down here in the main loop is read the position of our joystick. Now normally your analog channel connected to your joystick will read 0 when the joystick is all the way one way, and I'll read 1023 when it's all the way the other way. So we're going to use this mapping function to change that 0 to 1023 to be a negative 255 to a positive 255. So now we have an if statement. If the actuator speed is greater than 20, meaning we're pushing it just slightly off center, we want it to start moving at that same rate that we're pushing on the joystick. So we have an analog write to channel 5 to match the actuator speed, and analog write to channel 6 to be 0, meaning it's going to move in one direction. Now we have an else statement here that if the speed is negative 20, meaning we're pushing it a little in the opposite direction, we want to retract the actuator. The analog write will be, channel 5 will be 0, and channel 6 now will be the negative value of our actuator speed. So the same magnitude, just the opposite direction. Then of course, if we're not touching the joystick, meaning it's in between 20 and negative 20, we want to write 0 to both channels 5 and 6 so the actuator doesn't move at all. Now actuator 2 speed will be nearly identical, but instead of using the X direction of the joystick, we'll be using the Y direction of the joystick, and therefore analog read A1 instead of A0, and our analog writes will be on channels 9 and 10 instead of channels 5 and 6 like they were above. All right, let's test this code out. So if I move the joystick just a little bit, one of the actuators will start moving really slow. Of course, if I advance it further, it'll go faster. Same in reverse. And the other axis should extend the other actuator. Then of course I can move both at the same time by going diagonal, or have them go in opposite directions with the other diagonals. Here's the schematic for the second example. We'll be using the larger linear actuator that has the position feedback, and we will be using the BTS 7960 motor controller, which has a few more connections, but it's not too bad. Also, we'll be using that same joystick in the previous example. Now for our second code, rather than focusing on actuator speed and direction, we're going to focus on actuator position. And what we're going to do is command the actuator to match the position of the joystick. So if the joystick's in the middle, we want the actuator to be in the middle. If we push it to one side or the other, we want the actuator to move to that position. And once I let go of the joystick and it springs back to center, I want the actuator to go back to the center. So here in our code, we're going to use pins 5 and 6 again as our extend and retract pins. We're going to have an integer for joystick position and the actuator position, as we will be comparing them to each other, and this integer for deadband. And what that does is it takes out a little jitter. If there's a little noise in the joystick or in the actuator's position, we don't want it fidgeting back and forth. So if you want more precise position, you make the deadband smaller. If you want less jitter, you make it larger, so you can tweak that number to a number that satisfies you for your needs. Now, if our joystick and our actuator are very close or equal to the same position, we don't want to extend or retract. And we do that with this statement here, that if the actuator position is less than the joystick position plus the deadband, and the actuator position is greater than the joystick position minus the deadband, that means we're close enough and we don't want to do anything. So we write a low to both the extend and retract pin, and we stay where we're at, and then we loop over and over and repeat the process. Now when we test this code, if we did it right, the position of the actuator should try to match the position of the joystick. So if I move the joystick just a little bit, it should get to that position and stop. I can move it a little bit further. And then if I let go, of course, it should return to center. Same thing going the other way. If I move it just a little bit, it should go to that position a little further. And now if I let go, back to center. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. If you have, be sure and stay tuned for lesson 10. We will apply some of these same principles as you learn how to build your own 2-axis solar tracker. See you next time.